All right, hey, thanks for tuning in for today's stream. I'll be working on drupal-rector again, and this contribution stream is sponsored by palantir.net, a remote-first agile company that gives back to the Drupal project and community, like by sponsoring my time to work on drupal-rector, which was integral for the Drupal 8 to Drupal 9 upgrade and is for the Drupal 9 to Drupal 10 upgrade. If you are a Drupal developer or looking to break into a Drupal job, they do have an opening for a Drupal engineer. You can learn more and apply at their website, www.palantir.net. So that's some of the housekeeping and intro under the way. Thanks for tuning in. So today's going to be kind of like a pump the brakes and cleanup. The past 7 streams or so have been getting drupal-rector ready to analyze Drupal 9 and catch deprecations made on the Drupal 9 branch and third-party deprecations. Not analyze, but find and fix. Sorry, I'm thinking of PHP stand. To fix, and I kind of made a mess, kind of like a bull in a china shop, just running through. So I'm going to be going through and cleaning up any code documentation and also functional tests. What I made sure to go through and do is create a bunch of PHP unit tests for everything. So everything that I added has a PHP unit test, but we also have these fixtures that run. So this rector examples and the examples updated, and we go through a PHP unit workflow that takes rector, runs it, and actually runs a diff against it. So this is what we need to fix on now, and exactly pay down the medical debt. No, United States we pay down medical debt, but in this stream we pay down technical debt. All right. So that's going to be part of it today, and also making sure that these are properly documented in a different form. We have this deprecation index.yaml. And what it does is it will say this deprecated function method, the PHP stand message that's dumped out, and the various examples. This is used by upgrade status to verify, to show what is covered or not by the deprecations, or by rector. Sorry. So that's what populates this graph. Let's see, where is it? So this right here covered by rector, not covered by rector, non-Drupal core, parsing errors. So this giant blue portion is read from this deprecation index.yaml. So if this isn't up to date, then this interface can't necessarily know what's fixed or not. Thought about trying to make a fancier way of populating it, but we've spent so much time being fancy versus just doing grunt work. So those are some of the things that we're going to go through today. Like this one issue, like I said, bull in China shop, it was made up to date. 0.11 was added and nothing was fixed. So we're going to clean that up. Let's go through, and this is the pull request. So fixes internal documentation mismatches on the rule definition in various spots. Let's see, I think, does this need a rebase? When did this last run? This shouldn't have failed. So is this new that GitHub is using a blue color to highlight contributors or yourself? I haven't noticed it, and it's only, oh, no, there it is there too. So let's go ahead and look here. Looks like, oh, you used a dark theme, so that might be, oh, this failure, composer update, run ddev, composer update, shell rector, root composer JSON requires this, found. All right, real quick, I'm gonna make a pull request to Palantir, the rector sandbox. So there's a rector sandbox that's used by folks to test rector and a few other things. And the one quote unquote problem is it has a .lock file that references a certain hash, but then we also are testing it in a workflow. And right here we have develop-rector. It came up with an installable set, could not be resolved. So it's uninstallable. So we need to pass this with all dependencies to get this to update. So composer update. I don't even know if that would work. So how about I ignore the failure for right now. Let me just document the failure. So I wonder if it's just a show your name out of the others. Oh, okay. You know, side quest. Timeline comment, timeline teaser, not performance. Timeline item. I can never just not be curious. Type hidden. Current user. Yep. So if the timeline comment is for the current user, it modifies the variable. So this is one thing too. So if you use CSS variables before, actually they aren't changing the variable value. They're just saying it is that variable. Never mind. Either way, variables are cool in CSS. One way that I would have done this is set the background color and border bottom color to be a certain variable name and then overrid the variable with that setting. But because that's one neat trick I found out. So when you learn neat tricks, you do them all the time. So neat, when it's your own comment, you're now highlighted on GitHub. Failure, the failure seemed fixed in 1.7. Was this rebased after 1.7.2? Yeah, I don't do a lot of front end work, and when I do, I use Tailwind CSS because it's a lot easier for me, especially in JavaScript. Like, I know that's a whole debate, but Tailwind has actually taught me a lot about CSS variables because it's powered by CSS variables, and it's pretty neat. Failed yesterday. Let's see. So was this rebase after 1.7.2? I don't know why we got this failure. All right, so I got that comment there. Let's just do a quick review. Assert field. Yep. Assert header. I did this. I just copy pasted a whole bunch of stuff, so we had all kinds of bad internal documentation. Assert header calls. Assert no cache tag. Assert no field by name. Assert option selected. Luckily, I named the rector after what was deprecated. Oh, that's an older one actually. File directory OS temp. Get all options. So let's go ahead and check this out. So to be able to check out a pull request, there's a way you can do it with Git, but the easiest way is to use the GitHub command line. So you do GitHub PR checkout, you paste the number, and since it knows that my repo is Bluehorn Digital, drupal-rector, the upstream is Palantir, some point in time it asked which one to fetch issues and merge requests off of, and I made sure to say that it was from the original repo, not my fork. So real quick, I'm gonna dread going through this, but I am going to click there. Let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna do shift click to user load. I'm gonna hit command enter and freeze PHP storm. All right. That did not open all the files. Or maybe it did. I'm extremely disappointed. Hold on. Well, let's just start with all the asserts because I know this is where I worked. And Oh, maybe you can only open so many at a time when you do this. All right. Assert cache tag. Fix is deprecated. Assert legacy cache tag trait. Actually, I want to try to get a little bit more specific on these. So let's go. Let's see, Drupal sites, PHP Storm. Let's see, Drupal. What is it? Core Dev. Let's load this in PHP Storm. And let's. So what I found out is that there's assert legacy trait for functional test, browser tests, which extends the same named trait for kernel test. So I want this to actually say which one it comes from. Assert cache tag obviously is going to be, I say obvious because the fix is response header contains, so it's going to be from the browser test. But I'd like to be a little bit more specific, and I don't want to wait for the thing to rebuild. So let's go straight to kernel test, assert legacy trait, functional test, assert legacy trait, assert cache tag. Now what's interesting is if this would have it in there. Have to meet for work call, but we'd be lurking for an extra few. Awesome, thanks. I appreciate the thanks and the words of encouragement. One thing I realized is we do have this assert content trait inside kernel test. So kernel tests actually allow you to render the data and perform assertions on it. It's like that's where this parse comes in, get URL. And I want to make sure that there's no assert cache tag in here. It's like it has assert no link, but in some places, these actually, one second, sorry. So assert escaped. It's like this is a bug where it's not actually deprecated. Hold on. Oh man. I think I just found bugs. Let me check out 9.3.x. Oh, that's right. I should be doing this on 9.3.x because things haven't been marked deprecated in assert escaped. Or in 9.0. Shoot. I'm going to open this issue fairly quick. 1 second. Ensure rector does not modify usages of methods from assert content trait. This is a task. This is critical. There are deprecated methods and let's see, assert legacy trait. This is functional test. So I'm going to copy the reference. So there's deprecated methods in functional test assert legacy trait that assert content data, but there are deprecated methods in there that assert content data, content from a request, and there are matching ones in assert content trait, copy the reference, that are valid. We need to ensure that the recent rector rules for deprecated assert legacy trait are scoped to the parent, to the trait they came from. I recently did this, so if we go to 9, yes, command 9 launches the wrong IDE. Command 9 launches this, launches the git log. So let's, nope. Let's look at branch main. Add more rules. Oh, I'm on a different, I'm not on the main branch. One second. I want to make sure I capture this before I forget. So commits, fix on push. Well, that passed. Fix up pass rector. Here we go. Copy that. C pull request 175. And we do, we verify that it came from the trait we expect. Any code assert rector will need this. So the good news is that I plan on working on the functional test, and we can prove this via the functional tests. So we'll go there, and now I'm going to try to regroup myself, which the regroup was to put in the fully qualified name here. So let's go back. So assert escaped. So reset up, copy reference. So nothing else really does this. That's the problem. Let's see. File create directory fixes that constant. No load. That's not it. Path alias, no. Oh, so it does. Okay, so this does have the fully qualified name in it. Great. I think that will also help triage. If we get this merged, it'll make it easier to write the code in assert legacy trait base that makes these more scoped. So let's go back, assert cache tag, assert cache tag. Copy the reference. And this would not be the most glamorous stream, but it's going to help clean everything up. Let's copy that. Element present. Oh, this is, let's see, it's like Shift Option Command C is the keyboard shortcut. I'm going to move to the keyboard to try to make this a bit faster. Assert equal. So assert equal is not here because it is actually in the kernel test one. So if you would see up at the top here, the trait uses another trait. So we got traitception going on. So there we go. So there, assert field by ID. That is in here. Copy reference. So that will be one where, oh, it's abstract rector there. You gotta find ways to, streamline this. Insert. And this is also a good reminder that like when it comes to contributing to open source, it's not all about writing features or code. A lot of time it's just going through and helping clean up where technical debt accumulated, just got accidentally added in. Oh. Why is this yelling at me? Oh, pish posh. I don't care if it's that long. You know, contributing to open source, this is a lot of what it takes. It's just helping clean up where things were skipped over because somebody was just a little too busy, or a lot of people were a little too busy and things went through, or there was just so much work to be done that it was put on the back burner until later on, which I need to make sure I put ending parentheses on all these. So I just realized I was not. I'm going to copy that as my cursor should be at the end of it. It's not. Okay. So now I know assert header. We have assert header. Here's where it's deprecated. I don't know if anybody else remembers, but like back in the day, do you remember what pulse? And it was a thing that you used and it would calculate how many keystrokes you had in a day. And it was like a game and there was rankings. Like I remember when I played StarCraft and Counter-Strike, like our clan had part of it and like everybody's gaming community had different teams on it. I wonder what it would be like. And now it was like, it was always interesting as a kid because that's when I started learning how to code. And now I wonder how absurd it would be. Assert identical, copy and reference. If anybody's curious why we have all these assertions that are deprecated, it's because back before we adopted PHP unit as a community, we had simple test. And during the Drupal 8 life cycle, every test was converted over to PHP unit and simple test was deprecated. What pulse is still a thing? I want to go look, but I know I'm going to get distracted. That's wild. So yeah, so it was just a little desktop app you put on, well, software, whatever you want to call it. And it would just track how many link clicks and keyboard strokes you had. In hindsight, you basically installed a keylogger on your computer with blind faith that they wouldn't do anything wrong. Yeah, hindsight, that's kind of like sketch, but it was fun. It was neat. Assert link. No cache tag rector. I feel like there's got to be a faster way to do this, but by the time I think of it, I probably would be done. No escaped. That's going to be no escaped. Oh, wait. Assert, no escaped. This is where it's deprecated. No field by ID. I have an idea. When I know it's going to be, let's see, copy the reference. I know that it's that assert legacy trait because we go to assert session. So anytime we go to assert session, I know it's there. If I looked at assert escaped, again, assert session because of content assert trait. Wrong. So if I look at content assert trait, test, functional test. If I look at assert content trait, we know that that exists. There's no deprecation. So maybe I can just have the functional one tested. I know they're all going to be based on the browser test. Yeah. Assert no field checked. Or rather, we know that they'll all be. So no link. Maybe I can do no link. That verifies. Or rather, here we go. The only thing is assert, assert equal, assert not equal, assert identical, assert not identical. So let's do this. Copy special, assert rector is that one. Assert equal was already taken care of. Assert not equal, we replace that. Assert not identical, not identical is there. Assert identical object, we already have that. Pass rector, that's already been fixed. And verbose, oh, we never made that. That's not. That's a new one. Let's make an issue for that. So create new issue. So bug report or task, rather it's a task. This was missed from the assert legacy trait port fixes. All right, let's save that. And we'll actually pass rector. Let's copy the reference. We'll update that. All right, so that takes care of assert legacy trait there. And now we can just, now we know everything else is from here. Let's copy the reference and anything, any assert that's not modified yet, we just paste away. Sorry, that threw me off with all the text. Option. I'm sure some like Vim guru is probably laughing because there's some way to probably do this in Vim almost instantly or with a proper search and replace. But right now, my pasting ability and a double click is working out. All right, so that takes care of that. Everything looks to be the same as I stopped verifying that assert unique text, assert title, assert title call, assert text, assert response, assert. I do too, but I never use it with the find replace. I use it a lot, but I know you can do it with turning on the case and words and regular expressions. Yeah, regex. Like I'm sure I could have done it some way where it's like assert legacy trait where there is no trailing. Like, man, yeah, I probably could have just done this where let's do a find. I probably could have done like that where the start is assert legacy trait, but now everything has something in front of it. So I could probably have done caret, which is start of line, right? That's start and end of line. I could have been like something like that to find all usages, but I didn't go that far. So I think this looks good. Let's let's go back, clean up the internal function, fixes internal documentations for various rectors. Yeah, it has saved my behind a lot. Fix deprecated, get mock calls. Let's. Now I don't know if I'm being over the top by going through and fixing all of these. Oh, here we go. Never mind. Assert response. I forgot one. Copy. Because it was build path query, but now it's there. Construct field XPath. Datetime storage formats. Let's see. Drupal-rector, URL, entity create rector. There's somewhere in there. Oh, UI helper trait. Post Drupal post form. Unit test case get. Okay. Oh, I totally do that too. So if you don't use PHP Storm, you may not know that you can edit. So when you find code, I do this all the time. I search for stuff when I need a quick edit, and I just use it all in here. So I could have saved a lot of time if I just used regular expressions and did this to find all instances of assert legacy trait that don't start with a let's see if I did so double backslash. So here so I could find all functional tests. So now using regular expression, I could go in here, and if I needed to edit anything, I could go in or use some kind of regular expression to be able to find things that are missing the parentheses at the end. So if I did $sign is the end of, no, it's not the end of the string. Either way, you can get really powerful in there. I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole because this seems to be updated. Use fully qualified names and rule definition. I'm going to commit. You can run through the analyzer. Yes. So I'm that person. My wife went to Starbucks and I have a pumpkin spice latte. Apparently today was the first day because I saw it somewhere. It's like August starts with AU. So autumn starts with AU. So therefore autumn can begin in August. If you want to follow that. So I'm going to fish the upstream, and I'm just going to rebase this off of main real quick. It is up to date. I'm going to do git push origin 3227957 cleanup. Let's do GitHub PR create. So I'm going to create, actually, I'm not even going to try to do this in the user interface real quick because it wants to make it against main. So let's copy the URL. And okay, great. It is making a PR2 there. So expands. Right, is this 170? No, it's not. I lost the original issue I wanted. Cleans up. So expands 171 to include fully qualified names so that we can catch any errors or misfixes correctly. And I'm going to link to this issue. For example, see issue. All right. So since I'm not a maintainer of drupal-rector, I have to make a pull request to the branch that has a pull request, because then they could merge this in and then it would update their pull request. Or just merge in this one because it has one commit difference. Yeah, stuff like that. All right, so let's look at adds assert legacy and other items to the new index. See also this push failure. This is outdated. This is fixed up to the best we have it right now. Gabor added a note. Some of these items are not listed in PHP stand at all. So I'm just going to quick review it and just sign off on it. So that's fixed there. So so this even fixes some previous items that weren't added, called the deprecated method of Drew class. So I'm guessing all these were documented here. Oh, it's been fixed? Wait, when did this get fixed? A month ago. That's an older example. Called a method. Let's see. So I think the main difference is it just needs to say called a method blah of class blah, and then it's the deprecated message inside of it. This looks good enough to me. I'm going to improve it. Looks good to me. So there's that. I have two tasks or two pull requests that adds rector, third party, or rector symphony and rector PHP unit, but I don't want to. I want to get more functional testing added to our previous changes before we do that. Hold on. Wait a second. This shows a failure, but it says all checks have passed. What? Is GitHub... All right. We'll just let that go. All right. I need to stop saying all right. So let's go through this assert no unique rector, references wrong methods. This code is incorrect. Also unclear why this rector is significantly different than assert text. And why this is so different than assert unique text. Assert unique text page contains once. So let's minimize this. So assert no unique. So let's go actually. Assert no unique text. So this example is just bad. Let's go to the test and see if I made a decent example and actually get checkout main, get new branch, assert no unique text there. And let's copy it. The reason it is more complicated is that it did not have a direct matching replacement. Here is the deprecation message code, working on making this more clear. All right. No unique text. Assert unique text. Fixture. So assert no unique text here. So we'll actually just copy this verbatim. So it was just this assert no unique text. And here's the replacement. Which this was fun when I had to do because it was, it goes from one method to a bunch of different code. And that's why this looks even more robust here. So we should copy in from that one issue. Why do I need to open that? It's in the pass rector. Oh, let's see. We need to look at pass rector. Split it over to the side. Well, that's no. Well, why is this? Hold on. Get rebase upstream main. Stash. Okay, apparently I was not completely up to date because this should have the checks here. So is this abstract rector? So this should be moved into a trait? No. Yeah, I guess into a trait, we could call it get declaring trait name trait. Oh, that makes my head hurt. Because we need this here to make sure that, hold on, assert no unique text. Do we need to worry about this right now? Function assert no unique text. Yep, it's in assert content trait, and that is not deprecated. So I'm gonna copy this over. Don't want to copy it. All right, naming time. So let's go to utility. It would be any parent class, and that's what I had to do in here. So if we look at the pass rector, I even made a test. So in here, pass comes from browser test base. There's stubs in here, assert legacy trait and base assert legacy trait. So we have the stubs. No, do not run with test coverage. Stop. We have an example in here with custom. Oh, yeah. I think I have a way we can do it. So like in here, the example is that the pass method is overridden by the test class, so we don't run it. So let's get trait by class, get traits by class. What is this used by? Generate trace by class. Where is it? Oh, this get trace by class. So it checks if the class has a trait name. So let's do what is there in here? So pass reflection, get declaring class or trait. So my idea is, do we create a just helper class here, like a utility, or do we actually make a trait that can be added that says like get declaring trait or get declaring source? Maybe we should be declaring source. Yeah, how about that? So we're gonna do get. Second, I want to check something here. So get declaring trait is inside reflection, PHP method reflection, which property, does property have that? Yep. So property parameter does not. So we would have to get the so from the node method call class reflection get method pass, which I don't know why I couldn't get to this more easily. Extension has method extension class reflection method extensions. I know I said something about how I don't refactor anything until I do it 3 times. I usually just copy paste, and I really want to copy paste, but I know next week I'm gonna have to do this for every single assert rector, so I'm just putting the time in ahead to do this. So let's see. Yeah, so let's see. I'm gonna just do search get declaring trait is only in property and method reflection. So let's create a trait. We're gonna call the trait get declaring source trait.php. So do declare strict types equals 1. Namespace, good old copy paste. So we got trait. Oh my gosh, can't type. Get declaring source trait. So we will do a protected function get declaring source for the node. So let's import node, and actually it has to be, yeah, so we'll pass in the node method call. So what's the method call or property fetch are both expressions, and we're not in PHP 8, so we can't use a union. So let's do node. So it's an expression, and it will return a nullable string. So when I say a like PHP 8 and using unions, we could say it's a method call or node expression property fetch. Like we could do that in PHP 8 right now, but we can't here because we're using PHP 7.4 or I think 7.1 even. I can't remember what our minimum is. Let me go back. We're going to go here. And I'm going to say assert expression instance of or expression instance of. Do some base checks there. I really should throw an exception, but we're gonna go simple here. So we had the scope. So let's copy this. So we're gonna get the scope from the node, well, from the expression. Right, so we're saying it's gonna be there. So scope is instance of scope. Let's import that class. So from the scope, we're going to get the class reflection. The only problem is, so here we go. We'll do if expression instance of method call. We'll say expression reflection equals class reflection get method. The name. This node get name. Name equals that. So name scope else if expression instance of property fetch expression reflection equals get property. Yes. Name scope. Here's what we could do. Else throw new invalid argument exception. Can only call get declaring source on method call or property fetch. Received. I like to do this too, so let's do get class expression, so that way if there is an error randomly, we know like what class was passed. So we can actually drop this assert. Name, what is inside get name? This name resolver get name is string node. All right, we want that, and it should assume we can do this, so we can do assert this instance of abstract-rector. There we go. So that assert is that this is an instance of like this should only be used inside of a rector, and then it makes this name show up. Oh, PHP CS is going to yell at me, so let's fix that. So declaring trait. So let's look here. So we get the expression reflection. So if so, we'll start here. We'll start with the trait. And if declaring trait is not equal to null, return declaring trait get name. What is this? Declaring class equals expression reflection get declaring class. Declaring class is not equal to null. Return name. Return null. So if we couldn't figure it, if we shouldn't even get there, but we'll just return null here. Curious why this is returning resolve method, PHP method, resolve property. Let's see. We'll just the quickest way we can test this to see if it works is we know the pass rector has been modified to use this. So let's go ahead and run the pass rector test. So rector, pass rector test. So you can run it, and then we will add the trait, and we'll run it again, and it should pass. All right, so that passed. Let's go to use rector or use get declaring source trait. So we would go all the way to here, that declaring. We just say if this declaring source node is equal to assert legacy trait, we remove the node. So if this passes, we know we had no regressions. Sweet. So we can clean this up a bit. So this get declaring source. Should know the declaring source trait or class gets a method call or property. Gets a method or property declaring source trait or class. The expression, get all documenting on this, is already in hierarchy of this. So that should be fine. That should pass if we do PHP stand. So let's go ahead and update this. Man, assert no unique text. That's because it's inside of. Yeah, okay. Couldn't remember why we did this, and it's because this assert no unique text also is there. So if this source is not equal to the functional tests, we should return null because it does nothing. which let's go find the test for this. Unique text, assert no unique text. Now this will probably run, but we need to create the negative test case where we need to make sure it does not run on a kernel test. First, I want to make sure this passes. Hold on. Missing method from reflection. Method assert no unique text was not found on reflection of test base git mock. Browser test base, assert legacy test base, assert legacy. Oh man. I'm gonna really have to stub no unique text. So we have, every time we do this, we have to stub in the example functions. So let's run this. We'll run the test again. String given. Oh, what? Node comparator. 258 has nodes changed. String was given. What happened here? How did this break? One second. Where? Better standard. Change node analyzer. Original node. Pretty printer abstract. Argument 1 node was a string. Vector node traverser. How in the world did I cause that to break? So stubs. Let's see if that makes a difference. No. Let's try. So provide data, yield from directory, static yield from directory recursively, self yield filed infos. And that, let's do, I'm gonna modify this to return array keys. Assert no unique text. P element. So let's drop a breakpoint here. Is string element. I am so confused. So we're gonna drop a conditional breakpoint there, and I'm gonna do debug and see if I can get that to catch. That's not it. That's when I was doing other debugging. All right, element, duplicated message. Why, how, and caps list. Oh, okay. 1 second. Poser update. Like, did this break underneath us? Because that's not. I didn't change that part of it. So pass rector, assert no unique text. It's saying that so new node scholar encapsed string part. I guess that expected right. If it's a string, otherwise it's a value. Cannot handle why. So the error looks to be when it's building this string here. Let's run the debugger again. What do you mean it? Don't do this again. Come on. What did I do? Well, it got upgraded. Did PHP unit get upgraded? Why? So this was happening before. It wasn't working. Then I upgraded something and it broke all over again. PHP stand. No. Updating. Upgrading. This was supposed to be easy. But now I can't even get this to run without crashing. Oh, that's right. I was having this before when trying to run individual tests. It was broken. But if I run the entire test, instead of just one fixture, it works. Oh, come on. Run. But I really need to be able to debug this. So let's try it again. Debug. Oh, duh, because I updated and I hacked the vendor, so it broke. So asserted text. So maybe let's try this. Not that. Making sure it stays as a node. So asserted text. Just it only gets used there. So let's run the failed messages. But now it duplicated it. Oh, come on. What the heck? All right, I'm gonna back up here real quick. Because this just feels like everything got out of hand really quick here. So let's undo. We can keep those changes. Let's undo that and undo that. Run the test. Because this didn't fail. Well, it failed, but not. Oh, what do you mean? caps constructs and cap string node parts. So we use in caps so that way it returns it in double quotes. So that way if this was a variable name, it would show up properly. But let's try this. So if it's a string, we're going to encapsulate it here with the string value from value it passed. Okay. I'll take it. I will take it. I will take it. By variable. So yeah, so here's that. It wraps it in the curly brackets, which aren't necessary all the time, but we're gonna keep that. So let's go back to fixing this. So I've got it to pass. Use get declaring source trait. And the pass rector. We'll copy that there. And after we've asserted the name, functional tests. So it wasn't an auto loading error. I guess, I don't know. Who knows? I'm gonna run this. Now I've got to do one more test. I want to write one more test for this. Wait a second. What? What? Why isn't it adding that then? What? Oh. Return null if it's not equal to. Copy and paste is bad sometimes. Okay, that passed. All right, but what we need to do now is assert content trait. And what was this called again? Assert no unique text. Let's find usages. Nothing. What? Well, why is it here if nothing's using it? Assert trait legacy test. Trait. So we have it in assert content, but nothing's using it here. I guess instead of deprecating it, they put it here just in case contrib was using it. I guess. But what we need to do is add that to our stubs. So we're going to go to stubs, Drupal kerneltest. We need to have a not minimized file, but new file, assert content trait. How do we have this here? Let's do some copy paste, assert content trait. We're doing assert no unique text. So let's copy that in. So assert content trait. There. Just copy in this too as this pass. Or this assert true. So we have that. And what implements this? It's going to be kernel test base. What's test class? Hold on. Oh, that's not anything. So kernel test base. Let's make a new file. We're going to do kernel test. Just add more stubs. Kernel test base.php. Let's copy this top part. Kernel. So if the class exists, break out, and then we'll do. I'm not going to go that far into stubbing. We're just going to say that kernel test base extends test case and uses these two methods. So I believe in browser test, nope, test, browser test base. Oh yeah, so namespacing, who knows if I have that right or not. Uses the assert legacy, assert content trait. These stubs are then going to be broken once we go to, oh man, I think those will be broken in Drupal 10, but we'll deal with that on a whole different day. So let's create a new fixture. Let's see, kernel test, assert no unique test. So this is going to be kernel test example test extends kernel test base. And it should not be modified, basically. That's what we want to assert. Let's run the test. Identifier not found. Reflection class. Drupal kernel test not found because it cannot be located in the source. Composer. Dump. Autoload. So whenever you have in your composer.json a autoload that uses a class map and you add stuff to that folder, you have to run composer dump autoload so that way it can regenerate the autoloader for that. Great, the test pass, but to write tests, we are human and we write things wrong. So let's just make sure it fails. Assert no unique text by rector. Let's comment out that no, that's not the question. That's not it. So let's comment out our fix. And we should get a test failure, which we did, where we found that the kernel test was rewritten when it should not. And if we put the return null back, it is preserved. Well, that was fun. Let's copy. Also needs to account for the fact this method is still preserved in assert content trait PR incoming, which improves docs and limits its scope to usages from the functional test assert legacy trait. And then I'm going to link these two as related. Assert no unique text. All right. I think that's good enough. I really don't know how else to really document it because all the documentation is in the, what do you want to call it? Are in the deprecation message, and the rule definition doesn't account for that. It would be interesting. Oh, final class rule definition. So if we could get is configurable code sample. What does this do? This doesn't do anything. Maybe it does. New configurable code sample. Oh, the delimiter. So if you use something that's custom, never mind. Like, I wish we could include the deprecation message here to explain why it is such a big transformation, but we really can't do that. So let's just run PHP vendor bin, PHP stan. Let's quick run the analyzer. No errors. So let's push this up. Issue. So we'll say issue number. Did I even document anything? I don't think I improved the documentation one bit. Oh, I did. Improve, assert, no unique text vector documentation, and scope. Let's commit, push, GitHub PR create, submit the pull request, and I need to get my main get rebase upstream main, get origin main. So that's the issue. GitHub Palantir. Pull requests. Edit. There's the drupal.org issue. Recopy, paste. I don't know how to test it. Updates documentation on the rector rule. Also adds, ensures that the rector, the reformatting, refactoring is scoped to usages of the functional test, deprecated trait. Can't spell. This moved logic inside of the pass rector to a trait to make it easier to reuse. See that issue. Update the comment. Mark this as needs review. PR is up here. Make sure I tag Palantir and save. Well, that turned into a huge, I did not expect that to turn into a wild ride there, but that does help make this issue a bit easier when we get to it. So now I'm just going to work on getting the functional code missing. Let's do get new branch add missing functional fixtures, and we'll start there. Yeah, let's do a bunch of cleanups. And well, I mean, the good part is this cleanup for assert unique rector helped do refactoring that will be needed to scope a bunch of other rectors. So it took longer, but I guess like it had benefits in the long run. Let's check back out 9.0.x. Again, the reason I'm checking out 9.0.x is this gives us examples of things we can copy and paste for deprecated whatchamacallits methods. And that reopened everything I needed, and then I closed it anyways because it restored my workspace. So here we go. Almost everything in here is deprecated, so we're going to get the functional test going. So assert element present. We have a fixture. I guess this is a good way to like go through and make sure everything's there. Assert element present. It's right there. So let's do a... Oh, it's indexing. So that's where I do a good old search. Nothing found. Wait for it to finish indexing. Or just go fixtures D9, vector examples, test. Let's create. Oh, there's going to be so many. So many things. Assert element present test.php. So it should go from this to... So for this process, what we have to do is we copy the example and then we put it into the updated with what is expected. So we can copy and paste a lot from here. The only problem is that you can't test this locally very easily. This is one that you have to run on the CI. I think I could use that Nectos act, like the GitHub actions locally to run it. But let's see. Workflows, functional. Oh, yeah, I have it running in a wide version that I'm just not going to do that. I'll just work on a handful of them and then bring them and then try it. So find usages, nothing found. So a lot of these were actually deprecated in Drupal 8, but not like some are removed, but not entirely. And then finally they were postponed to be removed until Drupal 10. So I may not find any examples of this in Drupal core for some of these in 9.0. Assert text. Okay. So let's now copy assert element present to element not present. Brain work. Wake up, brain. Assert element not present. Actually, what I think we can just do here is just copy them into the same. So, assert element not present. Copy the expected and paste it below. I didn't fix the updated version for that. And I see myself making a ton of mistakes right now. Element exists. Yeah, this, I could see this. This is going to go wonderfully. So assert cache tag. And that's got some usages. Like I said, I like to have it be somewhat reasonable. So we'll call this assert cache assert cache tag test. Assert cache tag test. So we'll go for this part and let's copy it into the updated. It looks like we need to replace that. Because that will get automatically fixed. And assert cache tag gets replaced with this assert header contains. Oh, wait a second. Assert response. This isn't right. Hold on. This can't be right. Assert cache tag. Yeah, oh man, this thing's broken. Dang it. Oh, this caught a bug. Updated. So that should probably get spun out to its own issue. Man. So that'll be the one thing is once we get this ready for like end user review, they're going to catch usages like this where things are just broken. At least I hope so. So let's do the assert no cache tag in here as well. We'll call this test assert cache tag. Shoot, that means I need to go fix that PHP unit test because the assert cache tag is broken. I'm going to copy this to be also, we'll see, we'll just duplicate this method. We're going to delete that. Assert no cache tag. Copy that. That one to here. Which would be response header not contains. Now I need to go fix that. Assert cache, assert no cache tag. That contains. Man, I really screwed that one up. This is going to be completely busted, I bet. Assert cache tag fixture, cache tag. Yep, that's busted. That's beyond broken. I mean, I guess this cleanup is good because it's making me go with a fine, tooth comb over everything. But yeah, that's great. So much for this assert legacy trait. All right, hold on. I think process arguments. Bam. All right. We can fix this. I think I can fix this. So process arguments is a method that allows you to update the args, which in the parent does nothing, just the args. So array unshift, right? Unshift, put something at the beginning of the array, right? Prepends elements to the beginning of the array. Return args. Yeah. So we want to add something to the beginning of the array. So we take args. Or wait. Since this can be called with only one parameter, because if you did a spread. All right. I want to make sure I read that right. So that's the array, and we want to prepend a what do we want to call it? What new node. Hold on. Where am I looking for here? Element present. Nope, that's a quick one. Field by name. Here we go. I want to try to find where we create a name, the method name, method call. No. Process args is overridden somewhere. Assert cache tag. Yeah, I know that. Assert no raw. We reset. No text. We reset. Assert raw. Ah, come on. Somewhere field. No field. No field by name. Here we go. This. Oh, I'm silly. Hold on. This node factory create arg. The argument is x Drupal cache tags. There we go. So let's rerun that test, and one should pass, one should fail, because I need to copy this over. I hope. Yes. Awesome. Assert no cache tag. Let's over here again. That's because it's not just a rename from assert no cache tag to assert session here, or assert header not contains. We also have to make sure it adds this parameter in. So if we run this, it's fixed. I feel like this should get spun out to its own fix. So let's do yeah, so let's do git branch let's open an issue. Let's do it the smart way. Assert cache tag rectors are missing header name argument in replacement. The assert cache tag and assert no cache tag rector rules replace with and response header contains and response header not contains respectively. However, they do not prepend the arguments with the proper header name. This means the function, the method call is invalid. And we need to make sure the first parameter is the header name, X Drupal cache tags. Well, that's a bug. We're calling it major because it would crash stuff. So here, let me do. So I can at least add this assert element present, add functional test for assert element present. Commit anyway. And let's go, let's take this main. We're going to check out main, make a new branch for just this. Assert cache tag fixes. We'll make a new branch just for this called issue number blah, that node ID fix broken params on assert cache tag rector rules. So let's commit that. For errors, yeah, there's gonna be errors. Commit anyway. Let's push it and open a pull request. GitHub PR create. Copy that URL. PR here. While working on writing functional fixtures, I realized these two rector rules were completely broken. Oh, here comes the failures. All right, why did this fail? Declaration of assert cache tag, assert no cache tag must be compatible with Drupal test browser no cache tag. And what? Oh man. Wait. Hold on. What did I do? I did something silly. Fixtures. Run against there. 9. Examples. Test. Assert cache tag test. Oh, shoot. Test assert no cache tag. Updated test. Assert. I'm just going to do a force push on this. Git status, add fixtures, git amend that commit, and I'm going to do a force push. Because that's just silly to make a second commit just to fix that. Drupal.org issue is not 80. This is 80. Edit. Update that comment. Oh, man. What I can do is we have that commit. Copy. Let's go get checkout function. Git branch. Add missing functional. Yeah. So that's a really big bug to fix. I'm glad I found it, but I was like, I was hoping to like get some more things here done. Wait, get diff. No, dang it. Wait, get status. Get add fixtures. Get status. I still forgot one. Come on now. Get amend. Get push. All right. You better be good now. There. Okay, that's good. So get checkout. Add missing functional fixtures. Want this change. Get show at symbol for head. Assert element present test. I'm just gonna do get branch m, or I'm gonna make an issue. First, add missing fixtures for functional testing. Task. For all of the rector rules added in 0.11, no fixture, very few fixtures were created for functional testing. We need to add those back in. So let's do git branch m. I'm gonna rename this to be assert element present functional. Why did this fail? Man. Let's see. Keeping that branch name there. All right, I already got myself sillily confused. So let's go to the fixtures because I keep messing this up. So this is test assert cache tag. Test assert no cache tag. Assert no cache tag. Right, let me make sure. Source rector assert no cache tag. Response header contains. Okay. Get status, get add fixtures. I'm going to amend it again. Get push F. I had to put that branch name in a text field because I didn't want to have to like go scour for it again. And my brain's starting to get wonky. All right. So that's running. That needs review. I want to make sure that goes through. Actually, what I want to do is get push u origin. Get PR create. Let's actually edit the body here. Let's see. I think Control K deletes the line. Adds fixture. for the element present and not present assert rector rules. Up. Cancel. Command K. Drupal.org issue is there. Part of there. Yes, save. Submit. Okay, should have a new pull request then? I want to figure out how to get the GitHub command line to use Vim instead of Nano, because I don't know how to use Nano very well. One fix. I started more, but then hit this bug. And this bug is the assert of the cache tags. I don't know if it is editor an environment variable? So if I were to put wait. So if I put in all right, hold on here. If I were to say export editor equals Vim, it would work next time. So if I did, okay, try it next time. All right, so this is passing now for element present. Well, that was always passing. This is passing now. So hold on, GitHub PR. Let's try this. GitHub PR edit. Oh, when I did edit, wait. Body? No. Let's try GitHub PR edit. Oh, use the arrows to move, select, hit E to launch Vim. Thank you. Oh, wait, you're telling me I could have even fixed it if I just hit X here? No. GitHub launched with it. I'm happy now. I'm not a power user, but it's definitely my favorite command line editor. All right. I need to take stock of this real quick. So my goals were to do functional testing. Actually, the way I put it is my goal today was to make Gabor's life easier by knowing the documentation. I feel like I didn't get anywhere near that process. But I did find a handful of bugs. So let's see. I'm going to make a quick quick recap for myself. So +1 on that PR. This PR gave my thumbs up. So this one I made another C to help out, which for this, let's go ahead and GitHub PR check out 143, show the branch locally. Your branch is ahead of push. How is it ahead? Oh. That's right. So rebase, let's do git branch set upstream to origin 32279.7, git log, git pull, git rebase main, rebase abort. Never mind. I'm not going to try doing that. I'm going to try to rebase it to see if it would fix. So +1 on that, made PR 171, made 172 to help out. Fully qualified class names. So we did that. Which is there. To fix, assert, no field name, scope, and docs. To which we did this PR, crit fix to cache tag assertions, rectors, and this, which is a start on functional, was paused due to cache tag errors. All right. So that's that. Again, it's not nearly as far as I wanted to get to for the documentation, but if anybody's watching this and wants to contribute to Drupal-rector, that is one way, is we just need to get all these fixtures added so that way we can make sure it's running as expected in a functional sense versus just the PHP unit. And the nice part is this is basically going to force us to re-review everything and make sure that it is replacing correctly. Because one thing we could do is find the previous code and then the code in core that was fixed and copy some of those in. But all right, I've got my notes. I'm going to share these into the Rector channel, and that's it. So we're at the 2-hour mark. Again, thank you to Palantir for sponsoring my time to work on Drupal-rector. If you haven't seen, one second, I have to find the link because I cannot get the history to load it properly. Because it never wants to remember. Oh, now it shows up because I don't know how to spell. With all this work, we're about like 95% of deprecated Drupal APIs to be covered. I showed you that little graph. Well, that graph was a bit out of date from the Acquia website. So the Acquia dashboard actually reads from a job that the Drupal Association runs. So it's just a dashboard. And we're at 95% of Drupal APIs. So this is covered the 15% with third-party projects, such as Symfony and PHP unit. Those are here. We just need to make sure they actually work. So there's a good chance that, like not even just 95% of the deprecated Drupal APIs, but let's say it's 80% of all deprecations between vendors and Drupal are fixed via Drupal-rector. Because most folks could configure the Symfony rectors if they wanted to, but this way we can apply them. Like we know that Drupal 9 use Symfony 4. Well, now we have to fix all the Symfony 4 deprecations within Drupal 9 as we get closer to Drupal 10, which will have Symfony 5, I believe. And that means we need to fix all Symfony 4 deprecations so it doesn't go kaboom when Drupal 10 is released. So this will be really exciting when we get it all fixed up, but these are kind of blocked on getting the functional tests added. And I wish I could add labels that say blocked, but GitHub doesn't let you do that because it's either you get full-blown contributor and commit access or nothing. So thanks for tuning in. Again, thanks Palantir. And on Friday, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I might be doing PHP stand for PHP 8, although I'm supposed to do a joint live stream with the developer, but I keep forgetting to reply to his email. So what I need to do is actually get contrib Kanban onto Drupal 8, 9. I think it's still on Drupal 8. Let's see if we do the good old views page source generator. Yeah, so I need to get this up to Drupal 8 and kill the Google Analytics that's not even working. So I think on Friday I'll work on porting contrib Kanban to Drupal 9 using all the upgrade tools. So again, that'd be Friday, like 3 p.m. Central, or follow me on Twitch and Twitter to just know when I go live. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out while I did this work. All right, I'll see you later.